we have been in discussions with our partners out in San Pedro, for instance, and they sent us a list of suspected persons that have been operating without a license. So what we're doing right now is going through that list to see how many of them really don't have a license and how many of them we should be targeting. But that list, I mean, we're looking at about 30 just from one destination. And so it's more likely that this is also happening in other parts of the country. Now, that's one part of it. The other part of it is that we also have some tour guides that are licensed, but they are actually selling tours and operating tours. The laws of Belize that relates to tour operator and tour guides say that if you are to advertise a tour and operate a tour, you must be licensed as a tour operator. And so that's another issue that we very shortly will also begin to tackle, because you have tour guides selling tours. And as per our laws, that should not be. A tour guide should work on behalf of a tour operator that does the advertisement, that does the operations of the tour, again, because of liability issues. Because you imagine if there's an accident in a tour, who is liable in that sense? And so the destination and as the BTB, we have to be very cognizant that we have to ensure the safety and security of our tourists and our guests.
Okay, so it's something you feel that is happening countrywide, you say, but are there certain districts that you're looking at as maybe, for want of a better term, hotspot areas?
Well, we will target our main tourism destinations to start with. So San Pedro, Kikaker, Placencia, Cayo district, and we will start there because those are where tourism activities are pretty much consolidated, and so we want to start there, get an understanding of what's happening on the ground, and then from there we would move over to the other destinations. So those would be our current targets as we speak.
And what are the penalties? You mentioned tourism police, but tourism police are slightly different officers from the regular police per se. Are there like criminal charges that can be brought against these people? And if so, if they're successfully convicted, what are the penalties that we're looking at, or they are looking at?
So the BTB regulations does speak to there are two levels of, I guess, discipline that you can have. One is, well, three levels. One is that if you are found to not be operating with a license, you can get a cease and desist letter, somewhat like a warning letter, right? But if you continue to repeatedly have this offense happening, there is a process where there's a case that can be brought vis-a-vis the BTB for you to be charged and convicted for working without a proper license. In the case of a tour guide and in the case of a tour operator, and there is a summary conviction, and there are fees that are applied to that.